Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double X.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I'm living in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
That's right, you tell them, little buddy. You listen to Late Night with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide right here on Positive Power, Direct Side Christian Media. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have a great show. No Kimmy Kim tonight. That's right. She's busy. Too busy for Positive Power tonight. That's right. Tax season, y'all. Yeah, get your stuff right. That's right. Get ready, y'all. You don't want to get in no trouble. So get it right. Hire somebody to help you out. That's right. All right. Well, look, we got a great show tonight. We got K Soul is joining us. That's right. She's a native from Chicago, and she's a music writer, songwriter, you name it. She does it all. And she's a winner of many awards. And she's here to talk all about it right here on Positive Power. All right, let's bring it into the queue and let's start our interview. What's up, K-Soul? Welcome to Late Night. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been a while. Been a minute.
Yeah, it has. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you. And so I haven't really been doing any interviews myself in it for a minute. We've been producing and enjoying it. But hey, I welcome the opportunity. So welcome to the platform. All right, before we start the show, Kay, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and tell us about your journey. Amen.
Yes, I'm a singer-songwriter from Chicago, Illinois. Now I'm out here in Atlanta. I've been singing my whole life, basically. Started in the church, writing songs. And I recently just released some new music, a new EP called Heavy Love. And, you know, it's just all about how we should love ourselves and others according to God's word.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're going to get into it. I know your journey is a little deeper than that. So we got some questions for you. Kind of give everybody an idea what it's like to be, you know, songwriter during this era. Because things are a little different now. We're streaming music now. There's not a lot of CDs out there. And I always believe that the car industry dictates the way music is distributed. You believe that?
You said the car industry?
The automotive industry. Because just remember, think about it. People are very busy in their houses, in their homes. But when they're in a car, that's when they have an opportunity to decide what they want to listen to while they're driving. And some people got a pretty good commute, you know. Now, of course, you know, podcasting and, you know, all the different devices have kind of changed the game. But I don't know if you remember 8-tracks back in the 60s and the 70s. Big old audio player sitting under the dashboard. And shoot, them things about the size of VCRs, if you remember. Almost the size. You remember? Do you remember?
Yeah, about half. I didn't play an 8-track, but I do know what they look like. I'm familiar.
Yeah, and you kind of limited how many you can carry in your car. You know, because we didn't have bucket seats back then. It was like bench seats or whatever. I kind of remember the cars a little bit, even though, you know, you still see some of them today at auto shows and everything, but they haven't changed much. But I believe the automotive industry dictates how people listen to their music. And just think about it. You know, I'm not sure, you know, how old your car is, but if you're driving anything that's around, I guess, 2015, 2016, they have CarPlay and Google Play, and so you can just, as soon as you get it, you start that engine, the car connects to your device. And if you listen to podcasts or you listen to whatever, you know, platform you're listening to, whether it's Spotify or iHeart, you probably have your playlist there, you know, versus us listening to AM/FM station where the DJ has the power to what you listen to, right? And then he plays the same songs over and over again. So eventually, you know, you kind of addicted to that song and then you're going to run out and buy it. But then you're talking about what? CDs. Once we move past, I think once we move past 8-track, it was cassette tapes, right? Am I right?
8-tracks, cassette tapes, yeah, then CDs.
Right, then CDs. So they was kind of, I think people were still hanging on to their cassette decks. So some cars came with cassette decks and CD players. So you still could, hold on to your, and then we had the mixtapes came along. And that's when the game changed. When DJs were able to have control of helping distribute the music. See how that era moved through the automotive industry? You see? Because a lot of people,
I can understand that.
Yeah. So and so now, moving forward where we are today, I call it the pandemic era, COVID era, where everybody's streaming. We're streaming now. We're streaming in some cars are coming with Wi-Fi. So we're streaming really high quality digital music, audio to our cars. And then some people are driving around with their earplugs in their ear. So as soon as they get out the car, the music or their listening device follows them. So nothing's changed. It's like you go from your car to mobile, still mobile. See how important that word mobile is?
Right.
Yep. So where we are right now, basically where I'm going with this question is how difficult it is or how easy it is to distribute your music now that you don't have to worry about major labels distributing your music. Do you find it harder or easier now to get your music to the listeners?
I think it's easier in the sense of, you have that direct access to upload, and now it's available for anyone who desires to go play it.
Right.
But I think that what you still miss that you may get more of with the labels is the push to get the people's attention so that when it is uploaded, they will, the likelihood that they'll actually go listen is greater because, that's the marketing part.
Yeah.
So I think that part of it is still very much present because, I can put my music up all day, but if no one is actually goes to listen to it, then, there's still a disconnect.
Yeah. And it's kind of challenging. It's getting so challenging now because, I do TV as well. Spiritual shows, talk shows, children puppet show where we do produce our own music. And it's like, where are you concentrating your marketing at? Where is everybody? Can we still do old school marketing, going to the streets, going to the clubs, going to venues, for the exposure? Do we still add a little bit of that old flavor, handing a CD to a DJ so he can listen to it and add you to his playlist? So where are you when it comes to marketing? Are you still doing the old school street marketing, guerrilla marketing?
I'm doing both, actually. It's definitely a social media world, so you have to definitely push in that direction. So, of course, I'm active on social media. I'm posting reels. I'm posting stories. I'm doing that stuff. But I'm also, going out. I'm networking. I still have CDs, even though people aren't necessarily listening to CDs. What I found is that it kind of leaves, whoever you're meeting with something lasting, or if someone wants to have kind of like a souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
And, I find that those things are still important. I think it's necessary to do both because you still have to have a presence outside of social media.
That's right.
When it comes to being able to actually like book shows and have a real fan base.
Yeah, like in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bringing in new listeners. Yeah, it's like some of the biggest conversations right now, and I feel is, one thing, you have to still have the same energy as an individual that's signed with a label, a major label, because now we're open to listening to a lot of these conversations. Now a lot of these big artists are now independent, and now they starting to tell all on social media. We starting to find out they really not that far ahead of us, independents. It's like they still have to
Right.
put the same money out there like we are. You know, especially for the musicians that are a little older. They not really that. Young people got their own style of music now, and so we're still chasing. I guess would you say what the 30, 40, and 50-year-olds and maybe older. And it's like they have different tastes than the younger generation. So it's like I feel like our age group still like the in-person venues. You know, we want to go see the performers. And we don't mind if you sing other people's songs, if you can sing. You know, it's not necessarily like you have to sit up there and sing your whole playlist. You know, we just want to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? So when you out on the venue, where are you right now with your performances? Are you singing other covers, or you just do all your own material?
No, I'm just doing my own original music right now. I don't really sing many covers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. That's good. Because I'm gonna tell you, a few years ago, before the pandemic hit, I remember we was invited to go to a venue where the young lady she was performing all of Phyllis Hyman music, but she also had her own music. And I think people was attracted because she called it the Phyllis Hyman experience. And she packed the place. She really packed the place. And they ran videos in the background of Sade, some of her videos. And she talked about, her a little bit, what she knew of her and, being her favorite artist. And she sounded really, really good. But then she introduced some of her own music, and she was able to move a lot of the products. She moved a lot of products that night. It was very interesting style. I never seen that done like that before. It was very interesting, but she sold out, and nobody. I never really heard of her. We had on the show before, and she invited our team to come out and watch her perform. But it was really, really, really good. It was a really good show, And I find, do you sing jazz as well as?
I'm not really. I wouldn't say that I'm a jazz singer. I incorporate a little jazz, but I don't think I would call myself a traditional jazz singer.
All right, so let's go this direction. So, what's your demographics? Who's your audience? Who's listening to K-Soul right now? Who you're targeting?
I usually catch that age range between like 35 and 45. We've seen people even in the younger spectrum and older spectrum listen, but that seems the 35 to 45 seems to be my core listening audience.
Yeah. So when people buy tickets to see K-Soul, are they fans or are they just music lovers, you would say?
I think I've gotten a mix of both. I think I've definitely had people who were like, they've listened to me and they want to come out, and other people who are just maybe there for a live show, and then after the fact, they become more of a fan of my music.
Yeah, because I think today, is an advantage for you guys, especially independents. Like you kind of like unknown to some listeners, it's like, oh wow, she's really good, because people want to get out right now. People want to get dressed. They want to be in person. They want to have a good time. We were stuck in the house for 4 years, So what are people saying when you go out there? What are they saying to you after your performance?
Well, I actually just did a performance last week, and, I had a couple of people come up after, and they wanted to know, my Apple Music and how they could follow me. So that's always, a good thing. Like I was saying, they weren't necessarily there for me, but after the performance, they were inclined to want to listen to more music. So that was a great experience.
Yeah. So it's almost like cross promotion from another. So you was opening for another artist?
No, I was actually one of the featured artists for a concert series called Breaking Sound, where they focus on like 4 to 5 emerging artists in the area, and we do 30-minute sets apiece.
Oh, wow. That's nice. So you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was nice. It was my first show of the new year, so it was nice to, break the stage in for this year to get ready for future shows.
All right. So for 2024, where can people find you coming up, in the next few months? Because I know people are ready to get out there. They're ready to get dressed. The The one that's kept us in the northeast. What are your plans?
Well, I'll actually be featuring at Artistry Live Decatur in a couple of weeks on Sunday, March 3rd for their R&B live nights. And then I'm hoping, we're in conversations now with some festivals. I did Spring Arbor last year, so I'm hoping to do that again and add a couple more festivals throughout. So, I'll be doing some traveling. So those are the immediate plans for the next coming months.
So what's more fun for you? What do you enjoy more? Studio, working in the studio, just promoting your music, or getting out there doing in-person performances?
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to pick because I love the studio. That's that creative space. That's the raw space. That's the process. So I definitely, that's top tier. I have to do that before I'm even in a position to get out and promote or perform live. But after the studio, I love live shows. The promotion is probably the part I least like, just because that's more the business part of it. And I wish it wasn't what it was, but I know that it's necessary. But after the studio, it's definitely the live shows and being able to really connect with people and, get people's response to the art that I'm creating.
Yeah. So what are your goals right now, moving forward, through 2024? What should we expect from K-Soul as an artist?
Well, I just released a new project on February 9th, Heavy Love, which is actually, you brought up mixtapes earlier. It's a preview kind of in a mixtape fashion, but, a little more professionally put together of a full-length album that I do plan to drop later this year, and supporting that with shows and different features and things that I have coming up. I just put out a music video for the lead song, Corinthians Love. Yeah. So I'm also in that, heavy promo season right now.
Right. Well, you got to get a copy of that over to me because we launched 2-3 video shows. We'd love to feature you on 2 of those shows. So please have One Nation get it to us. Amen.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I know he did send me something. I'm not sure if it was One Love, but I have to check and see what we have. But we've been airing you. I remember seeing you on television last week on our station in Atlanta, matter of fact. Yeah. No, it was New York. I saw you airing a show that we did in New York, on the music video show. Yeah, it looked good. Good sound. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to check out K-Soul. Now, your sound is kind of sultry. How you describe your sound?
I describe it as, it definitely does have a sultriness to it. It's very soulful. It's ethereal, if you will. It's a spiritual sound, a fusion of different genres, but the message is deep and spiritual and connected.
Yeah. Now, you left Chi-Town. I've been in Chicago a couple of times, and I had a really, really good time. I was talking about the 90s. And it was very cold. It was cold then, very cold, but it didn't stop people from dressing up, going out. And at the time, I'm not sure if it's still around now, but I remember Walter Payton Club was around 34, and I think he had another spot too. And it was a pretty busy, entertaining town. How was the scene now? And if you know anything, I'm not sure if you still visit the city, but what is it like there now for the nightlife for performers?
Yeah, I do. And it's still, Chicago is very much a music town as well. So on any given night, you can still find live music, of all different genres. Heavy still into like underground poetry scene and things like that, as well as like the stepper sets. So, you kind of got to know where to go. Now, I can't say I know all the places anymore, but it's definitely still a vibe when you go there.
Yeah, we had a really, really good time. The food was really, really good. People was friendly, and I know times has really changed now. With the way crime has been going up in some of our major metro cities. But like you say, you gotta know where you're going. You can't just step out there.
Right.
Yeah. And so Atlanta. So how's the scene in Atlanta? Are you enjoying the scene in Atlanta? Because I know Georgia's big. You know, there's a lot of different places to go. So how you moving around? You comfortable?
You know, I feel like I'm still, finding my way, figuring it out. Like, I'm a little more comfortable than I was when I first came down. You know, I've been able to make some connections and, start, booking shows and things. But it's still, like you said, it's so big. It's so many different parts. It's a lot of territory to cover. So I'm trying to just, be patient with the process.
It is. See, and then their concentration is on the residential development. So it's like everything's becoming more family friendly. So where do the adults go? Besides the warehouse parties, with I don't think you're trying to find that, but
No.
Yeah, it's like you really have to be connected to really know where you're traveling to, because it is pretty big. So how long have you been in Atlanta?
I've been here for about 2 years now.
Yeah, it's not enough time. Yeah, you still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't scraped anything yet. Yeah. Big
Yeah.
place. Yep. Yeah, and I've been actually doing television out there for 5 years now, believe it or not. No, 7 years. What I'm talking about? 7 years this year. 7 years. Been flying in and out. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big city. And I got family there and everything, and everybody just so spread out. You come to town, you can't even really get around like that, because it's like, wow, I thought you was in Atlanta. No, I live an hour outside Atlanta, and that's the other direction. So it is. Now I got to start asking for people's geographics according to the airport. You can't just say Atlanta. They say they're in Atlanta and they live like 2 hours away. So they get you like that. Just like when people say about Baltimore and D.C., say, okay, yeah, I live in D.C., I live in the DMV. They could be like deep in Virginia and, the Arlington, Virginia area, and then they think that I can just get there in like 30 minutes. And no, dude, I'm 20 minutes on the other side of BWI Airport. So it's going to take me 2 hours to get there, So it's kind of interesting how people state where they're located at. But it's good that the music scene is popping now, because I've been to more concerts during this pandemic era than I've been in a while. I mean, because I've filmed a lot of projects, stage plays and stuff like that, musicals. But it's like people are really getting into the smaller sets now. How you feel about the larger venue versus smaller sets? What's your take on that? What's comfortable for you?
That's a good one, because here's the thing. I've sung in bigger venues. I've definitely played more smaller ones, and I love the intimacy of it. But, I do aspire to get to the point where I can, perform in bigger theaters and, arenas and things like that. So that is a goal. But I will always love the intimacy of being able to, like, look into the audience's eyes and really see their reaction and connect with them in that way.
Yeah. So do you have your own band?
I do have a band that I work with. I had a band that I work with in Chicago, and I have a couple of musicians here in Atlanta that I've been working with since I've been here.
Okay. Now, of course, during the pandemic, 2020, 21, 22, it was a big emphasis on HBCUs. Connecting with the college kids, the campuses. Had you an opportunity to share your music experience with some of the music majors and some of the smaller schools, smaller programs?
I actually just did an interview over at Morris Brown College, and that was pretty cool. It was at the radio station within their school of music. So, that's definitely on our radar as far as trying to connect. It's just a matter of being able to get in there and, get those meetings and get those conversations started. But that's an experience I just had that was really nice.
Yeah, but that was nice, because I've been hearing a lot of that too. Some of the musicians are going, like for example, some of the DJs and some of the artists from back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of those guys are professors now. And some of them are working in big studios like for Universal and all those places. So they like to go to some of the programs and share their experience, their journey in music. Because, of course, it's like sometimes you wonder, what all these kids are music majors. What are they going to do with that? You're just thinking outside the box. What are you going to do with that? And but some of the professors are bringing these guys that had these one hit. Some of these people were one hit wonders, but they made a lot of money off of that. But what are they doing today? And fortunately, we do have a show on our platform that had an opportunity to interview some artists that had big hits that were back in the 80s when we had those super groups. Because there was a lot of big hits back then. I mean, because I used to be a DJ, and I remember a lot of those artists, Crystal Waters and D-Train and all those guys. And we had some of them on the show. And it's very interesting to hear where they are today. And some of them are traveling overseas because they still play their music over there in the dance halls. So they are traveling over in UK, over Europe and still performing live and everything. So I just think that was very interesting that they're still connecting with their fan base, because their fan base is still alive and well. Some of them just in their 50s and their 60s today, and these are the people who want to see you live. So do you feel connecting with the students is just introducing your music to a younger demographics?
Definitely. I mean, because I don't know, I can't say that they would otherwise listen to it, so I think being able to introduce it to them on a platform that they're already familiar with, certainly increases the chance that, they can listen to it and connect to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your advice to up-and-coming songwriter or artist who write their own material? Which how would they get themselves? What's the first move they should make, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, they definitely should spend some time with their craft, writing songs, singing, however they're choosing to express their art. And I would suggest like open mics, that's a great place to start, to just go out, not just the performance part of it, but it's a great way to gauge, the artist scene in that area and network, and, just kind of see what other opportunities may be out there, because that's key. You have to get out and kind of let people know that you're there and what you're trying to do.
That's right. There's a lot of noise out there right now. You gotta get in there. Yeah. How you feel about listening parties? Is that still a thing? Because I got an invite to a listening party that was online. Is that still a thing?
Oh, that's definitely a thing. I'm definitely one for throwing a listening party. I've thrown a couple of them. I think it's just a great way for artists to, get people excited about their new release, and a way for artists to present it. Sometimes I've had listening parties where we just played the music. Our last listening party, we did like a question and answer. I've had listening parties where I sang the whole, songs from the album live. So I just think it's a great way to get your, to pull people together, to let them see what you've been working on in one setting.
Yeah. Now, I remember back in the 80s, and based on I'm kind of moving in the direction where Prince was when he first came out, because his journey is out there. You can really see his journey through his music videos, some of the documentaries that's on YouTube. And one of the things they used to always say, he wasn't going to let nobody dictate the type of music he was going to produce. He was going to be trend. He was going to be the trend. How you feel about that? Do you write for yourself, or do you write for your audience, or what's trending? Where are you with your development and creativity?
Yeah, I definitely don't follow trends. I'm pretty spiritual, pretty tapped in. I believe that, my music is part of the purpose that God has given me. So it's more about being pleasing in that regard and doing what feels right in my heart. I don't sit down and be like, let me try to make a TikTok song or anything like that. I go strictly with what's in my heart, where I'm being led creatively. And, I do listen to a lot of music, not so much for trends, but because I love music, you know, and I like to see how it evolves, and because I do want my music to grow and evolve, so I study what's going on, but it's never my goal to be concerned about popularity or anything like that.
Right. So are you a full-time performer, or you basically just, something you do out of love for the music, for the arts?
It's both. It's definitely the fabric and the core of who I am. You know, I wake up every day and I'm doing something in relation to pushing my music forward. But, you know, I still have adult responsibilities,
Right.
so I do have to work a 9 to 5, but I don't allow that to be something that prevents me from doing my music. I still operate in my music as if I were a full-time, artist in that capacity. I still push myself in that same way.
Yeah, because it seems like it's kind of hard now for, because I remember before the pandemic, we've had artists on the show that were full time. I was kind of blown away by that. They was traveling all the time, especially the guys that were band, musicians. They were always working, But then when everything got shut down, it was like, whoa, what they going to do now? Where's their income going to come from? Because it's like they like 1099 dudes, They not like working for corporate America. You're gonna get paid no matter what, because you can sign your vacation time and submit it.
Right.
It was pretty challenging for them. So, is that scary? If you were doing it full time, if because this could happen again, easily. Anything can stop. It kind of stopped the world. Whether it's war or another plague. So how you feel about that?
I mean, I think it's definitely scary. I'm a person that also believes that you should have multiple streams of income anyway, because you just never know. So, the goal, of course, is for my music to get to the point where I wouldn't have to work a 9 to 5 per se, but I would still be looking to have multiple ways in which I'm generating income. Like recently I started a new line of merch to support the release of my EP. And, it's just creating different opportunities for yourself, especially as an artist, because as we know, the songwriting laws they're trying to change them, but they don't pay us a lot. You have to, the way they're counting streams, if you're not getting millions of streams, you're not getting big dollar checks like that.
Right.
So, I think it's important for artists to be able to brand themselves in a way that they can generate income from more than just the streaming of the music, because that's not where I don't believe that's where we're going to find our bread and butter in this new industry.
Yeah, it seems like the hustle is on now, because just like I said earlier, watching YouTube and listening to some of these artists talk about, because I remember DMX used to share this stuff on his reality show like back then. They was sitting around a campfire in Arizona somewhere, and he was saying how they don't really make any money for the record label. They have to go on tour to make their money, because it's like their hits pay for all of it's like they was on borrowed money. And they got to pay it all back. And the music videos, it's like everybody was in their pocket. Anybody that's name is on that ledger, they paying from the sales of their records. So then they have to rely on the tours to actually, make their income. They got to travel. And I think I heard a number of artists mention that in some of their dialogue on some of these shows. So if you're not Taylor Swift or Beyonce with these, these huge amount of stream, and Drake with these serious streams, it's like how do they live if they're not touring? And then who's paying for that road tour? Are they borrowing that money also? Are they sitting down with the banks? So that's a lot of part of it that our young people don't really fully understand. How they really making a living as a musician or as an artist. Can you kind of break that down a little bit for some of our younger listeners? Because we have a lot of overseas listeners that respect the gospel industry here so much, but they probably don't get it neither.
I mean, I think it's, kind of just building upon what I was saying earlier. Of course you want your music to stream, but that's only one source. As you said, it's touring, it's merch, it's also brand endorsements. Getting other companies to pay you to represent their brand. So it's a lot of different ways. It's publishing, it's placements, in movies, and is radio as well. If you can tap into, the big terrestrial markets, because that's another, demanding area within itself. But it's really being tapped into all these different sources. For a lot of independent artists, they may work a 9 to 5, and then they may also do something on the side, and whatever they're doing on the side is what's funding the tour, the road manager. And yeah, they're showing up for shows, but it's like, they're driving in their putt-putt car, filled to the brim with, equipment and whatever they may need for the road. And at the end, they may be lucky if they break even.
Right.
So it's not always this glamorous, even with some of your bigger celebrities, a lot of what you might see might be rented or borrowed, and they're giving all that stuff back as soon as, the director yells cut. So you really have to tap into every part of the industry beyond streaming in order to start to create multiple lines of income for yourself.
Now, how about like your music videos? When you guys are putting up funds to produce your music videos, where you guys are having your music videos distributed, besides YouTube? Where else can you put it?
You can do YouTube, you can do Vivo. Like my distributor does Vivo. They do Facebook Watch as well. And I know there are some other like independent video platforms that you can submit to. I believe Roku TV is doing that as well for artists. And then now on Spotify, you can't submit the whole video, but if you get access, you can do like it's maybe like a 10-second clip of what you have to, kind of when people go and they can see it, and then they prompt them to go watch the full video.
Right. Yeah, and I think Sirius is doing that too, and also Pray.com is doing that with gospel artists. So it is right. So there's a lot of ideas out there to get your music in front of the listeners and the viewers. And also, don't forget about community television and people. You got, especially in New York, they got a lot of them. And we're part of that. And also in Atlanta, they have a lot of independent television stations that do have public television. And they they will accept your music videos. Just have to submit a contract. Yep, so many ways to do it. You got to get in front of the people. So I remember back in the day, too. Remember when MTV and BET and them was really growing, and they were giving all this exposure to these artists with these music videos. It's like, to me, that's what really, because Michael Jackson was around for a while before, he blew up, with the whole Thriller album. Remember, that came along during the MTV and BET era. And those guys just, and then, of course, Beyonce and all them was a beneficiary at the end of that, that run. So I feel like music videos really showcased those guys and made them super rich, because there's not a lot of people getting rich like that nowadays in music. Or am I wrong? Except for the select few.
No, I think you're right about that. It's like you said, it's the select major artists that are touring on that level. I don't, it seems to be the name of the game now is being a social media influencer, and then using that to try to parlay into some type of other profession.
So it's almost like now you got to have like a serious love for the industry to want to be part of it, or just do it for the love of your music and just put your stuff out there the way you want to put it and just enjoy it. And if something great happened, it is almost like hitting the lottery, you would say, to benefit.
It does feel like that.
It does
sometimes.
It does.
Yeah, because it's so saturated as well because of the ease of access, and it's like, I think some people are doing it for the love of the art, but I think you have a lot of people too that just do it because it's cool and it's clout and, it's something to say. And so now you just have a market that's, everybody's calling themselves an artist, but it's just oversaturated.
It is. It's like it's just too much of it. I mean, like now I don't really let the music, the radio tell me what's nice. You know, I kind of let Spotify find it for me. Like if I start listening to an artist, next thing you know, they may drop maybe like 3 or 4 artists that's kind of similar to that artist, and then I'll go through their playlist, and if I can find 3 or 4 songs I really like, then I will add them to my playlist. You know, because I like artists that all the music is good. I mean, I know all of it can't be a hit, but sometimes some of the artists do put out a lot of really good music that you can just make it your day. You know, because like I love listening to Bob Marley like first thing, and like after I do my because I got some gospel music or spiritual music I listen to that's not with the heavy drum beats and stuff, because I can't take that early in the morning. You know, more I like mostly strings. You know, I guess what. Not percussion, but what you call it? Mostly strings. Yeah, acoustic, right. Guitars and stuff like that. And then later, that's why I love Bob Marley songs, because the beats are not that hard. It's like more calming. And then later on, I can start going into some of my like neo soul stuff. Because were you on that level at one time, kind of doing more like neo soul before, or you kind of touched that a little bit with your style? Because your music is very
no,
calming.
that's definitely a strong part of my style, is that neo soul vibe.
Yeah, because I would listen to Better Love, and that's a very calming song. You know, it's very soothing. You know, and I think nowadays people there's so much noise out there, especially with the politics and then the wars and then everything that's going on. It's like you need something that's going to just calm your mind and just quiet it. You know. So you can just start, so you can hear what God is speaking to you. What is he saying? How, you know, he's trying to calm you down. And I find music is the only way to do it. I mean, I even include nature with that sound, you know, that music. I call it music. Just listening to nature, even if it's just waterfall or birds or whatever, you know. You just need something that's going to kind of help you hold it all together, because there's just so much going on, you know, especially with that device. But you can use the device for good stuff, though. You know, you how you feel about that? You know, music bring you getting you under control with your thoughts, and you know, giving you quiet time. How you feel about that?
Oh, definitely. Music for me has always been a therapeutic thing. You know, listening to it, creating it, is something that has always felt like a safe space for me. So it's my go-to constantly when I'm feeling overwhelmed, or if I just need to get something out, is where I go.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm kind of attracted to some of those sounds that these young ladies are making. Kind of like, I guess I wouldn't say it's chatting, but it's like the music, the instruments they use sound like bells a little bit, but different sounds that kind of like tuning forks. You know, it's like hums itself through the sound, but it's so many different keys that they play on. I'm starting to find myself attracted to that kind of music. You know, just to calm things down. You know, just my vibration. You know. And I always believe that frequencies kind of do affect you, and some of them you want to stay away from. I don't think they have any healing properties to them. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful what you listen to. They always say be careful what you put in your ear gate. So that includes music, because it can be destructive. And we have seen that back in the day, what music can do to you. All right. So Kay, anything you'd like to leave our audience with before we close out the show?
You know, I would just like to leave everyone with a word of encouragement. I feel like we're in such a difficult time as far as all the things that are being exposed, and we're seeing, you know, a lot of people exposed for being wolves in sheep's clothes. And I just want to encourage people to really stay locked in to God, to stay prayed up, to trust, you know, what's in their heart, what's in their soul. And if it don't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I feel like this is a time to find your creative side, no matter what it is. You know, try to find that calmness. You know, because basically God has gifted us with with talents that's supposed to help keep us together, and share it too. I think that's the biggest thing, is sharing your gift. Just don't keep it to yourself. When you're ready, of course, you want to be ready and comfortable when you do that. So right now, I just want to give you kudos for sharing your gift and being brave and going out there and making people feel good. 'Cause that's what it's all about. Making them feel good with your gift. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome. And sorry, Kimmy Kim couldn't be here today. She loved interviewing musicians, but this is that time of the year for her and her profession that she couldn't do it. But she said hello, and she hoped to have you back. Amen.
All right. I would love that.
All right. And tell Brian, thank you so much. We appreciate him always for bringing talented artists to our platform. We really appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you guys for tuning in. I know you guys was like, where Kimmy Kim at? You got Jerry Woods tonight, so she'll be back. All right, y'all. Well, look, we got to get out of here. We appreciate Kay. Thank you so much for sharing and your journey, and we wish you the best. And I hope, if you ever visit the DMV, we're able to see you live. Amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Late Night with Jerry Woods Live Worldwide and Kimmy Kim on Positive Power WXI. Our guest was Kay. So check our show notes. We have how you can reach out to her. You can check out where she's going to be live. I know everybody's big on live performances right now in person. So check out her merch and all those good things. Please support her. I'm Jerry Woods Live Worldwide, and this is Positive Power WXI Studios.
Live Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double X.
Positive Power 21.org. Internet radio.
You are listening to Jerry Woods Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21. Jerry Woods Live Worldwide.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Don't forget, y'all, you can join us Monday through Thursday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can also catch us 24 hours. That's right. We put everything on replay, on the loop. Come check us out, y'all. Especially on Monday, we have Living Right Podcast with Pastor Bushisi. We have host of beautiful podcasts. So come on out, y'all. Join us 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting with Love Chapter. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Jerry Woods Live.